Hello. Hey, hi.
This is for you.
Oh, thank you. It's lovely. Various entrance.
So the Fengshan book was it's part of the overall SG50 celebrations in Fengshan. We look at various ideas about what we could do to commemorate SG50 in a meaningful way for the residents, so that residents could understand a little bit more about the history of Fengshan, and as well as the stories of their fellow residents. So that was how the idea of the book came about.
We met a number of challenges. The first challenge was we tried to look for publicly available information. But in the public domain, there's not a lot of archives that writes about Fengshan. So the first way to do it was to put out a poster and ask residents to solicit pictures from them or stories that they would write. Eventually, more residents started writing to us and then telling us, oh, I have this, would you like to come and collect?
One of the residents who stayed along Bedok Road saw this flyer, and she told us that, hey, I'm actually in contact with the first owner of the house, and the house was built, I think it must have been built in the 60s or 70s. It was actually housing for the British servicemen that were in Singapore then. So along Bedok Road, those old houses. So what she did was she put us in contact with the first occupant of the house, and we had a very good discussion going about the history of the place, how it was like back in the early years when it's just one long road and many houses along the side. There was not much facilities. It was like maybe 40-50 years ago. And he also shared with us many photographs and his memories of living there together with his family when he was stationed in Singapore.
We have a few chapters in this book, and one of the chapters is to capture about people who have made an impact in Fengshan. So one of them is actually this lady called Madam Chong Li Chin. Why she came out to volunteer was back at that time, her eldest son, actually had a classmate whose parents passed on very early, and she decided to move forward to volunteer and help this child. So even by today, she goes around to the couple of blocks around her where there are more elderly living there to check on them. Even out of her own pocket, she would buy things for them on a weekly basis. I think these are things which it's hard to find in an individual, especially the level of commitment and passion for others. It took close to a year because first we had to reach out to residents who stayed here long enough for the last 30-40 years to ask them to tell us the story of this place. We have to find multiple sources in order to make sure that the story is identical. So that's really reflective of what is happening at this place. In that process, we get to know a lot of people, a lot of stories.
What we did was we went to all the homes in Fengshan, including the flats and the landed property, to give out the books. We actually went door to door, and I think many residents were very surprised and they appreciated that we went on this project to commemorate SG50 together with them.
So I think it's something that can transcend a few generations. The grandparents could now tell their grandchildren what this place is like. And similarly for the lady who spoke to me, I think she can tell her own grandchildren in the future what Fengshan is like. So I think you see all this changing lives of individuals, but also the fact that it brought to life the story of Fengshan.
Personally, I felt it was a very fruitful exercise. I think it helps us to serve our residents better, understanding how people feel about living here. It was really good to get the whole community to come together to talk about what Fengshan means to us.
Nama saya Salma, umur saya 63 tahun. Saya tinggal Bukit Batok. Saya sebentar tak boleh bangun sendiri. Saya angkat dia, bangunkan dia, duduk kat wheelchair, saya tolak sampai kat toilet, saya dirikan dia, saya kasih jalan sikit, baru duduk. Saya kasih dia sarapan pagi. Sudah sarapan, sudah apa, semua habis, saya baringkan dia balik. Tapi duduk lama sikit lah. Duduk, saya cakap, tengok TV sama-sama lah. Tapi sayang dia tak boleh cakap aja. Dia nak apa-apa, dia tak boleh hendak apa yang dia hendak. Dia tu tak tahu, itu aja yang saya sedih. Sebab tu kadang saya tanya, nak makan ini, saya tanya, nak makan itu, nanti dia pegang.
We visited them and both patients and the caregivers are actually facing difficulties to cope with it. We offered this hospital beds to them.
Masa tak ada katil itu yang implikasi ni yang boleh naik atas, turun, bawah. Kasih. Dulunya time saya baringkan husband, saya naik atas katil sama. Saya naik atas katil, saya tarik saya husband naik ke atas. Baringkan dia betul-betul. Sekarang dah senang. Saya sekarang banyak senang. Mimpi dah kasih tu katil, dah boleh turunkan katil tu, naikkan belakang dia, boleh turun naik. Dia lagi baru punya dia kasih.
When we first mold this hospital beds program, we are looking for a donor and to have this bed activists who come forward and say that, well, I can help in this area and manage to get the beds for us. Then the problem comes is that we have these 10 beds, we're going to store it, how we're going to transfer the bed so that when we identify beneficiaries and we have to transfer it there, to set it up. So these are some of the logistics that we encounter. We have a activist came forward and says that I have a place for you to store and have the logistic teams to help to transport the beds. With these sponsors, we managed to train a group of people who willingly helps in setting up the beds. By doing so, now we are able to deploy the bed.
Daripada factory dia baru buka, semua orang berpasangkan. Si Muladi banyak tolong saya.
We will keep on exploring the means to help our residents. So long there is a need or there is certain gaps in the community, we would like to plug it.
I chose to become a young PAP because during 2011, during the election, there were a lot of negative points online. Not everything you read online is true. I decided to find out for myself. From there, I actually joined YP because with the youth, there is more energy. They have a lot of ideas that I love to be part of the team, so I went ahead and joined them. For the past 5 years as a young activist YP, I've seen people who are less fortunate, and from there I actually learned to appreciate more with what I have.
When I joined Young PAP 5 years ago, I was being exposed to an array of issues in the Meet the People session. I have to communicate and understand the problems of the residents, and then I have to direct the problems to the right agencies. So this developed me as a better communicator and a better problem solver. Beyond Meet the People session, we have opportunities to organize events. Things like teamwork, things like coordinating between people is very crucial in a successful event. So overall, I think me and my team has done a lot and developed ourselves as better persons and better leaders.
Back in 2012, we actually did a World Water Day outreach to spread the awareness that we have this resource that is very important and we should appreciate it. So it makes others aware that PAP has been here. Regardless whether bad or good times, we are here. At the same time, we are also very connected to the residents, meaning your concerns are also our concerns.
The Young PAP led several outreach initiatives. Every little thing we do makes a difference in the residents' life. These initiatives help to build that family spirit and community spirit within us.
There was one elderly lady. She came to the MPS and asked for, to take a look at her water bill because, the increase was so huge. I was like, wow, 60 something to $100 over. I was like, yeah, something is wrong. So she wanted to write a letter. Throughout the conversation, I asked her, hey, so auntie, you are collecting cardboard. Do you want to get some rations? Do you need some help? So I referred her to the welfare side. I also offered to help her bring back her rations, like the sack of rice and all that. While her journey back home, she was pushing her trolley with cardboards and all that. I saw a few cardboards. I was just joking to her, auntie, down there got a lot of cardboards. Why don't you go and also take that one? No, cannot. This belongs to other people. It's not mine. After talking to her, I realized that older generations have a very strong mindset. They will try their best to help themselves. After all that, she was appreciative. She came back. Every time I see her, she will talk to me. Sir, chapa boy. And I say, auntie, chapa liao. Nu le.
For the next 2 years, we'll be focusing on better collaboration between constituencies within the GRC in Nee Soon. Furthermore, we will also engage private persons who are interested to champion a cause, volunteer welfare organizations who might need support and might want to contribute to the community at large. Finally, we also will look into policies, so how Singapore shapes the policy and the direction ahead in the future. And potentially, we want to engage members in crafting their own alternatives to these policies. I believe I will continue to serve in Nee Soon Central because this is my hometown and I want to help to make Singapore a better place.